I could not sleep for the longest time. I pretty much whole of my teenage life, I did not used to sleep good at all. I'd have maybe one good night a week. All the other nights would be terrible. It would take me at least 2 hours to get to sleep. Recently, this year, and just the end of last year, I started doing these things, and it's completely changed it. I feel so much better. I get to sleep within an hour, which is mental to me. I've never been able to do it before. I know some people can just fall asleep like that. Anywhere, any place, they can just fall asleep. I know they can't. I've never been able to do that unless I'm mega, 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 mega tired. And it's been really beneficial. I tried everything. I tried changing my mattress, tried changing my pillows, material of the pillowcase, material of the duvet, size bed, how I sleep, position I sleep in, wearing a watch, not wearing a watch, doing certain things before bed, taking certain stuff before bed. Guess what? Maybe some of it worked for one night. After that, didn't work again. I've taken plenty of stuff before bed and none of it has worked. I've changed a lot of things. None of it worked. Nothing changed. Nothing impacted the root cause of it, which was me. It wasn't anything going on in my surroundings. I was the cause of my inability to get to sleep. And if you're the same, try these things, please. It completely changed how I sleep, changed my life. It's made me feel so much better throughout the rest of my day. And I know the fact I used to worry so much about not being able to get to sleep at night. The fact that I now know I can get a good night's sleep has changed everything. There's a lot of different aspects that go into it, but the main kind of takeaway that I found was sleep. My bad sleep was my fault. And if you're having bad sleep, there's a high chance that it's also your fault. And what I mean by that is it's not your mattress, it's not particularly the temperature, it's not the noise, it's not that kind of stuff. It's your what you're doing before you go to bed and what you've previously done. And it's kind of a list of things that I changed, which I rank in different orders of importance for what I'd say made the biggest impact, even though I can't really tell, but I'd say there's stuff that's more important, less important of changing. Now this one is a big one and it is stress. So when I tried to sleep at night, the main problem that I found was that I used to I used to keep myself awake with my brain going over kind of every little problem or whatever. Every little problem that was going on in my life would just be thought about, and I would take myself in that moment. My brain would choose that moment when I was trying to sleep to try and deal with those things. And I was just like, oh yeah, my brain must just be active. My brain must just be still awake, not tired enough from throughout the day, so that it thinks it's got energy and is dealing with this stuff now. But no, that's not the case. And if you've felt a similar thing, that is also not the case in your position. The reason for that is stress. Now, I used to think stress was just a term for when you had problems in your life. You were stressed. When stuff wasn't going right, you were stressed. And that's not true. Stress, the way I define it, is when you have problems, not problems, when you have problems and when you have things that are going on in your life, they could be good, could be bad, but they're in your mind. And they're not causing you stress. That is stress. Stress on your brain because you're thinking about it. If you're thinking about stuff all the time, if you're thinking about these things all the time. Now that might not make much sense until you look at it from a sleep perspective. When you go to bed, your brain now has all these things on its mind that's going on in your life. Some might be good, some might be problems, some might be stuff it's trying to sort, just organizing stuff maybe. But now when you're trying to sleep, your brain's sorting through these things and trying to do them before you go to bed. So, how do we remove the stress from our brains and make sure that it doesn't try and do this stuff when we're trying to go to sleep? I used to think it was just I wasn't tired enough. No. What you need to do in order to stop your brain from trying to solve this stuff at night, to remove this stress from your brain, there are a couple of ways you can do this. So obviously it depends on what the thing is. But let's say it's just a general thing of worries and problems that you have, on a day-to-day basis. Let's say, for example, you're worried about some work that you got to do, some uni work, some actual work, that kind of thing. You've got to do soon, needs to be done, needs to be handed in. You can help yourself by option 1, starting to do it, chipping away at it, creating a plan for yourself. Now, I know this seems so disconnected from sleep, but trust me, it's not. If you make a plan for these kind of things, if you make plans, let's say for this uni work, if you make a plan for it and know when you're going to do each bit of work, this is takes such a heavy load out of your brain. It removes that thing from your brain. It's like, yes, that's sorted. I can put that in the future. And I know a lot of people don't think like that. I don't think like that. I constantly think about everything that I've got coming up. I can't just put something aside. But when you get sleep, when you go to bed, your brain will it won't even think about it because you've planned it. Or you'll think about it once and you go, yes, I've planned that, I've done that, I know what I'm doing for that. Don't need to worry about that. Easy enough. Another thing in that situation is before you go to bed, make a to-do list of things that you want to get done tomorrow, or if you have one for the week, even better. Start the week, write it all down. You know that thing's on a list somewhere. It's getting planned to be done. And most importantly, you feel confident you can do it. If you have a look at it and think, oh yes, I can do this, that's easy enough, it won't take me too long, I don't need to put too much effort into this, that takes such a heavy load out of it and removes it from your brain's kind of list of, yes, I want these things done. Now, that's one example of things that can be done. Another thing for me, when I'm cutting on this diet, I plan all my meals, put them in my tracking app the day before. So I know when I go to bed, I do not need to think about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. And this helps so much. I no longer have to stay up planning, trying to figure out whether I've got enough food. I know if I have enough food or if I need to go and buy it. Again, my brain is not thinking about it. It knows it's sorted. Same with scheduling. Schedule your day the night before. I'm not saying right before you go to bed, schedule it. Put a bit of time aside to do it. It will help you so much, honestly. Your brain will not be thinking about what you have to do tomorrow because you know it's all sorted. In my opinion, this is the biggest contributor to why I could not sleep. I had all these things on my mind, going over and over and over and over and over in my head about all these problems. And as much as you can do to plan and try and prevent this happening, at the end of the day, if you're like me, you will be thinking about some of this stuff at night. And it's important that you remind yourself that it's bedtime now. My brain can shut off. I will deal with everything tomorrow. And the more groundwork you put in to help yourself in that position, the more likely it is you will be able to shut down your brain and go to sleep. Of course, this has to be used with the other components. Otherwise, you will not be as effective in this. But this is a main factor of why I could not sleep. And once I've fixed it by improving my planning, reducing the number of things that I had to do the next day, or in general, making sure I had everything written down of what I was going to do, the brain no longer has to sort those things. It can organize itself and it can shut off, finally. Now, reading before bed doesn't just have to be reading. I think anything that gets your eyes maybe working and your brain working a little bit, something creative, something distracting, maybe a puzzle before bed, not on your phone. A puzzle, maybe drawing if you're into that, something a little bit creative, something relaxing, something that you enjoy, something that takes you away, something that distracts you. Eye movement tires your brain out, works the muscles in your head. They're the ones, they get strained pretty easily. So that's going to tire you out, tire your eyes out. You're going to stop them moving around at night, which also keeps you up. Distracting yourself takes your brain away, puts you in a good position to get some good sleep. Again, it doesn't have to be reading. I think anything a little bit creative, something relaxing to you is going to work. If your brain is ready for shut off, it knows it's done for the day and it knows it's time for sleep. And this routine that you have something before bed that's not your phone, that's not going to create more problems. It's just going to get your mind working and your eyes moving. Something, not physical activity, something in your brain working hard to, imagine these things or read the book or understand what has been given. I would recommend fiction over non-fiction. That's just my personal findings. I find fiction helps put you in a different world, separate you from this world, and help you get to sleep. Reading really tires me out. And it does. I can feel it works. If I don't read, I can feel the difference. And it takes my mind off other things as well, which is very important for sleep. And it builds up part of that routine for sleep that is so important to get a good night's sleep. But I want, before you read, before you do something, that little thing before bed that's going to put you to bed, I want you to, that's the last time I want you to be on your phone before that. Because your phone contains so much information and stuff that's going on with your life that you have to do, you want to do, plans, everything. Everything is centered and is written on your phone. All it's going to do before bed for you is going to put those thoughts straight back into your head that you've just written down. You just got rid of them. You just planned it all. It's going to create more problems. It's going to distract you. It's going to keep you awake solely because of the content that is on your phone. If you see a video before you go to bed about someone living their best life, living all their dreams, they've got loads of money, and that is something that you stress about constantly. If you're someone who's worried about that stuff, you're worried you're not going to make it, you're worried like that, that is immediately, while you try and go to sleep, you're going to be thinking about that. You're going to be thinking about a person, you're going to be thinking about your problems. It completely eliminates all the work you've done to just get that stuff out of your mind so you can simply go to sleep. That is why phone is one of the biggest distractions and causes stress. Stress in the fact that you will be thinking about things to do with your life. And I mean it. I say that I used to stay off my phone before bed. But before I'd go to bed, I'd literally just check my messages from people, see what was going on. Don't do that. That is the same exact thing. Someone's created plans. Someone sends you a message about a plan tomorrow or the day after or something they want to do. Bang, immediately in your head. You're going to be thinking about it now. That is how easy it is for it to work. And honestly, you might not think it, you might disagree, but just try it. If you're someone who was in the same situation as me, just try it. Please try these things. See if they work. If they don't, let me know. Just give them a go. Now, another thing for sleep to help you is routine. Routine is key. Routine fits into all these other categories. Everything that I will talk about in this video has to be in your routine. Your routine is what makes it so important. So, for example, reading before bed. Now, that is a separate thing to do with sleep, but it is also a routine. It tells your brain it's ready for shut off. Again, part of that routine is going to be when you have your last bit of food. This might be the second most important thing that I've found. I no longer eat after 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. is my cut-off time for eating. And I found that it helps so much. Ridiculous amounts. After changing that, it was insane. I was getting to sleep so much faster and I was sleeping a lot better as well. I eat nothing, not even a snack, nothing after 8 p.m. And I think it's really important that you implement a cut-off time as well. I'm sure there's some science that says 3 to 4 hours, something like that. Obviously not eating before bed. Make sure you're full, of course. That's why I think a good diet goes hand in hand with this. Because on a good diet, you're going to feel full. You're not going to have cravings. As much cravings, of course you still have cravings. You're not going to have as much cravings because you'll feel full. You'll be eating good. You're not going to be eating ultra processed, high sugar foods that are going to spike your insulin, which makes you hungrier. You want to be eating a good diet, satiating foods, potatoes, whatever. Eat those all before 8 p.m. Everything before 8 p.m. Nothing except water should be entering your body after 8 p.m. This means your body is not digesting food while you're trying to sleep. It's not having stuff going on. You want to reduce the amount of things that are going on in your body while you're trying to sleep. Stop your brain. Stop your thinking. The same thing as your brain. Stop stomach doing anything. All you want to do is rest. If your stomach is working to digest this food while you try and sleep, it's going to keep you up. That's just how it works. Your body wants to be up to digest this food properly, especially when it's trying to break down more complex foods. It's also going to keep delivering you energy while you're up. That's going to keep you awake. Wow, energy keeps you awake. If you eat and digest food while you sleep, you'll be given energy that you don't need. You're trying to sleep. You don't need energy right now. You don't need that short little burst of energy. You want to sleep. Not eating before bed is massive, and I think it's heavily underrated. I haven't really heard it spoken about, but to be honest, I think it is a massive, massive part of why I've been able to change my sleep so much. Now, same as the food before bed, I used to go to the gym a lot. Late at night. I used to prefer it a lot. It was quiet. It was better. It was a nighttime session. Now I don't do that. I do no kind of activity, exhaustion leading up to bed as far back as I can before bed. If I can avoid doing anything like that before bed, I'll do nothing of the sort. I'll try and finish my uni work as early as possible and literally just relax the whole night. I know people work at night. I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh yeah, I'll get it done at night. I'll do it tonight. That is spiking your body to go into kind of work mode, fight or flight mode, whatever. That's going to stop you from getting to sleep. You're going to be in an active kind of mood. You're going to be trying to do things. Your body's going to be firing up energy stores. It's going to be putting things in action, get the blood pumping around your body. Don't do that. Trust me, don't do it. That is a very big thing, depending on how much you do before bed, depending on what you do before bed. Again, it's putting stuff in your mind, like your gym progress, whatever. You just been in the gym. I just did the blah, 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 gym progress in my mind. Bangs. Thinking about it all night. Stressing about it all night. As well as that, your brain's going to be fired up. Brain does mind-muscle connection. More activity in brain. You might think it might make it tighter. No, your brain can handle it. Trust me. All it's going to do is get it firing, get it ready to go, getting ready to solve some stuff. No, don't want that. Don't want that at all. None of that. We want to lower those levels of activity. That is why people recommend hot shower. All that does is calm the nervous system down. Relaxes the body. That is what we want before bed. This one might not be as important, but it's still important. And that is a good diet. You don't have to eat completely clean, no processed food whatsoever. No, but the better you eat, the more chances your body will feel better and it will be better at sleep. That is just a fact. If you feel better throughout the day, you're not eating a lot of refined sugars, processed foods, your body's going to find it easier to break down. You're going to have less insulin spikes, which are going to keep you up. Stuff like that. If you eat wholly, you get all your vitamins, all your stuff like that. Your body is not fighting through the night. It's not fighting because you've got deficiencies. It's not fighting for that. I don't know the full science behind it, but I feel like it corresponds, definitely. I found improving the quality of what I eat has helped a lot. Again, as part of the routine, a good bedtime to have set is also ideal. It kind of just helps the function of the body to shut off and know when it's done for the day, and also wake up on time in the morning, so you're not waking up at a random time feeling a bit groggy, whatever, because you woke up a bit early, or being annoyed you slept in late, being worried about sleeping in late. When I have an alarm, I wake up on the dot about a minute before my alarm. My body knows when that alarm is every day and wakes up exactly before it. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how it does it. I don't know why it does it. I wish it didn't do it because it's kind of annoying sometimes. But yeah, a good routine is going to just help everything flow well. It's going to help you get all these things done before bed. If you plan it before bed, you will get them done. If you don't plan it, you might run out of time and you won't get them done and you won't sleep well. If you don't plan is the key part of all this. It's the glue that binds it all together. Your sleep is heavily affected by how you plan your day. If you don't plan, you're not going to be in bed on time. Although I don't think it's as important, being in bed on time still helps a lot. But more importantly, you're not going to be eating. You're going to be eating past your cut-off time because you haven't planned your meals well. You're not going to get your reading in before bed. Again, not helpful at all. And you're not going to have time to, before you go to bed, just think about what stuff is bothering you, what's going on, make a list, whatever. You're not going to have time to do that. And that is also not going to help you. Of course, all this stuff goes hand in hand with smaller stuff, maybe about your mattress, pillows, duvet, temperature, noise, all that obviously is going to contribute, but it's going to be different of likeliness to fall asleep, staying asleep, and having good sleep is all to do with what I've mentioned. Good sleep is a massive part of going to the gym and building muscle, as well as losing fat. It's a massive. It's probably. I think it is the second. I think the big three. You have going to the gym in the first place, doing your exercises, eating, sleep. Without sleep, you're not building muscle. It's as simple as without food, you're not building muscle. Without sleep, you're also not building muscle. Simple as that. You need good sleep. What this is going to do, it's going to help you get to sleep in the first place. It's going to help you get to sleep faster. It's going to keep you asleep, and you're going to feel better when you wake up. You're going to have better quality of sleep. Trust me. That's everything. Sleep is so important. If you're going to the gym and you're not sleeping properly, you need to fix it. Sleep allows you to recover properly. It allows you to attack your sessions with the highest intensity. You don't know what a single reason to feel in that gym. You want to feel perfect. You want to be perfectly carb load. You're putting all this work in before the gym with your carbs, your energy, your mental preparedness, but you've not rested. You don't have the ability in your brain to get through that. You're tired. It's all because you're not sleeping properly. You're not growing enough. You wake up, you feel achy, you're in pain. Get your sleep in. Fix it now before it's too late. I'm telling you, it will help so much.